Welcome back to the group chat.
Nathan Marshall with the Crusaders. Yep. Scott Robertson. Yep. Scott Robertson.
Close. Rep straight off.
Conor McGregor, Israel Adesanya, John Jones, GSP, Anderson Silva.
Welcome back to the group chat for another episode. Phil, joining me back in studio once again after... Well, it was kind of a full-on weekend for a Warriors bye week. We had Super Rugby Semi-finals, We had F1 back, the US Open took a large portion of my weekend up. The World Test Championship coming to an end on day 4, plenty of action going down. What did you get up to over the weekend?
Well, rugby union was the highlight, I would say. Chiefs coming up big time against the Brumbies. Brumbies missing out on their number 10, getting injured in that first 20 minutes. Crusaders Blues, great game to watch too, especially the last sort of footy phases or so.
Oh, yeah, what was that, 32 phases they defended?
Close, yeah, man. Awesome game, man. Yeah, Crusaders, just that defense they've had all season, world class. What else? Shit. Yeah, the test. Up the Proteas, $3.50. Thanks for coming.
I'm so glad they won
City.
too. I'm so glad they won.
Markram, massive. Rabada, massive. Bavuma, very consistent.
Yep.
That's why he's captain.
Yep.
So plenty on considering the bye week. Can't complain.
No, absolutely not. So, we'll do our group chat question of the week. We get into our like it or love it. There's got some Club World Cup. We've got State of Origin coming up. And then some transfer rumours as well. Not rumours. Just shit going on in the transfer market. In European football.
Club World Cup.
Yeah. You happy with it at the moment?
What a spectacle. Oh, it's terrible. What was the Bayern Munich versus Auckland City FC? The dream fixture. We've all been waiting for that fixture. Wow.
I'll tell you what, though. Was it 2 Club World Cups ago? I mean, not that the clubs really cared about it, but Auckland City came 3rd. So it's like people are calling for why are these teams in it like Auckland City? Well, they've qualified through the means of qualification. They've done their part. And a couple Club World Cups ago, they actually made it through. And that's what it's about, like to get those little teams that can actually go on a run. I mean, they're semi-professional. Their team was valued at under $2 million compared to Bayern Munich's hundreds of million. Unfortunately, they did, the biggest ever defeat in Club World Cup history. Previous one only being 6-1, which surprised me.
I respect Bayern Munich, though. They didn't go easy on them.
No, absolutely
Fully
not.
stacked squad. They went up, 5-0? They didn't stop there.
Nope.
They doubled down, put them to the sword, which some people didn't like that. I respect that.
Well, I think it's also testament to Auckland City. Like, yeah, you're a small team, but these clubs are going to respect you and they're going to go out there and play their game of football. They're not going to take a step back and go easy on you.
Yeah, they didn't let up either. I kind of like that. If I was managing a team, that's how I want my team to play. You just keep playing until the end. You don't just stop playing because you're 5-0 up. No.
So if you're Vincent Kompany in that halftime and you go into halftime 6-0, what are you telling the team? Obviously, Vincent Kompany is just to keep freaking going, but what are you saying?
Lads, it's 0-0. When that whistle goes, it's 0-0.
Start again.
I tell you what, Musiala, you're coming on in the 60th minute and you're scoring a hat-trick, all right?
Yeah. I'll tell you who's not going to score a hat-trick or who's not going to score one goal at all is Harry Kane. My goodness. That's so good. I mean, what's that keeper's name? Was it Connor Tracy? That could be very wrong, but it is Connor Tracy.
Also, not to be confused for Bulldogs fullback. Who scored
But I mean, he's going to have a hell of a story when he goes back to his day job. I mean, he's dapping it up with Neuer, probably one of the GOAT goalkeepers of all time. Yeah, he let in 10 goals, but I mean, that's not all his fault. And he
did pass it to Bayern Munich.
Some of those goals were.
But he also made 7 saves. So
I think that was the big headline of it. 7 saves.
Cool experience. I mean, you got battered, but it's
absolutely.
Great for them.
And these semi-professionals are spending 2 weeks as if you were a professional footballer, so they're getting to live the life, which is kind of cool. Yeah, they've got to take leave without pay from their day job. But you're over in the States. You're a professional footballer for 2 weeks. I mean, it's a pretty cool experience.
Did you see the turnout for the Chelsea game?
No.
It's abysmal.
Chelsea LAFC.
It looks like a Wellington Phoenix game. Like the stadium is empty.
Brutal.
It is empty.
Do you have the number of how many were there, or like what capacity could have been?
No, I'd have to look it up. I just saw the photos. It looked terrible.
Oh god. I mean, was it being played in LA? Because I've got much bigger issues.
Mercedes-Benz Stadium, whatever.
Yeah, I've got much bigger fish to fry over in LA at the moment, so I can't imagine too many people are worried about the Club World Cup happening in Los Angeles. It's the same with I don't know. Have you seen any of the Major League Cricket? That's just started up.
Major League Cricket.
Yeah. So it's the third year of it, but they've just started up again this season. And I think they were doing like a super weekend in the Bay, so in San Francisco. But I mean, California's got a whole bunch of issues going on at the moment. And then there's the commentators and players be like, oh yeah, if you never watched a game of cricket, get down to the Bay. We've got 5 games on this weekend, and you won't regret it. But I don't see many people going to, let alone a football game, let's say cricket. I mean, Finn Allen whacked 150 off about 70 balls in the first game.
Massive.
I was actually watching that game. There's Finn Allen, there's Tim Seifert, there's Rachin Ravindra, there's Ben Sears. There's a whole bunch of Kiwi talent over there. So it's not like a terrible cricket being played.
No.
But it's just
not the biggest league.
No.
In terms of status.
No.
Apparently 22,000. But if you look at this.
So 22,000 in the stadium.
70,000 capacity.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So if you were the home team wearing red, you'd look like you got a crowd full of support. With 52,000 red stands.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is brutal. Wait,
yeah, my apologies. My apologies, because 22,000 is great for Wellington Phoenix. That's a great turnout. So maybe it's not that bad.
Wellington Phoenix might get, 5 to 10,000 on a good day?
Yeah.
30,000 if it's a semi-final and Oscar Zawada is going to score a tying goal in the 98th minute.
That was peak.
But other than that...
Best mixed game I've ever watched, that semi-final.
Okay, let's get into the group chat question of the week. And this time I've got one for you. I want to hear your take on it. But first, a little bit of context. So, Carlos Alcaraz, we go back 2 weeks now, versus Jannik Sinner in the French Open Grand Slam final. 5 sets, 5 hours, being dubbed as one of the greatest Grand Slam finals there has been. And there's been a lot of great Grand Slam finals. So this is getting very high praise.
Like 11, or not a Grand Slam final, but the longest professional match was like 11 hours, wasn't it?
Played over 2 days. So
3.
It could be 3 days? Wow, yeah. Because that's what, on the 5th, there's no super tiebreak. You just keep going until someone breaks a game.
Crazy.
So yeah, over 3 days. But Andy Roddick, in a podcast last week, former world number 1 tennis player, has come out saying tennis is the most complete examination of an athlete. He has said that as an athlete, as a tennis player, you're the most complete athlete. So my question for you, Phil, comes in 2 parts. What sport do you think offers the most complete examination of an athlete? And then who do you think, all time, is the most complete athlete ever?
Yeah, this is an extremely difficult one, especially when you do have tennis matches going for 5 hours. But then you also have cricket test matches that go 5 days as well. But it's just different levels of, I guess, comparing like skill set,
it depends,
technical ability, strength, cardio. It's really hard to really box that in as the ultimate, what did he say? Ultimate athlete?
Yeah.
The ultimate test?
Yeah, the ultimate or complete examination of an athlete.
Yeah, no, tennis isn't that. But they are insane athletes at the same time. The only thing I can think of, tennis is not that. Where's the strength aspect?
Have you seen Carlos Alcaraz?
I have seen Carlos Alcaraz.
Guy's strong.
Yeah. Have you seen guys like DK Metcalf? I'm not saying
I have seen DK
I'm not saying he's the epitome, but there's, have you seen the strongman events?
Yeah, exactly.
My God. Just been rewatching Game of Thrones and The Mountain.
That
Strongest
boy's
man in the
strong.
world. He's massive. But I was looking at stuff like water polo.
Okay. Talk to me about water polo.
Well, it's probably one of the few sports I don't want to play. You're treading water for the whole game. Every time you're having to sprint up and down. Well, the
Sprint.
equivalent of sprinting up and down the pool.
Yeah.
Wrestling people underwater.
Mm-hmm.
Every time you take a shot, you're lifting your whole body out of the water. It's horrendous. It would feel like punishment if I had to play water polo. And you have to be so. It's physical. There's cardio involved. You're treading water 24/7. Terrible. I don't want to do that ever. So swimming full speed. Imagine like grappling someone under the water as well as treading the water. You can never touch the floor. Horrendous sport. That feels like something where you would need to be good in multiple aspects and very, very fit. Other elements, I think, probably any of the athlons. Yes. Triathlon, decathlon, quadathlon.
Yeah.
That's just all-round insane athlete. You have to be a different human to do stuff like that, in my opinion.
At the highest level.
At the highest level, you have to be good in multiple aspects. And obviously your cardio is second to none.
Yeah. And correct me if I'm wrong, but the decathlon is all over. Is it over one day? Like, say, at the games? Do they compete in the decathlon over one day, or is it over 2 or 3? I mean, either way, it's still pretty impressive. But I guess it comes down to what your definition of an athlete is.
I think it's 2 days.
2 days.
Day 1, 100-meter long jump, shot put, high jump, 400-meter. Day 2, hurdles, discus, pole vault, javelin, 1,500.
Okay, so you're doing 5 events per day for 2 days. That is mental.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, if you talk about... So you're saying water polo could be a complete examination of what an athlete is?
Yeah.
As a sport?
Yeah.
It's a good shout. Because water polo is bruising and brutal.
Yep.
How long is a game?
60 minutes, I think. Is it?
Oof.
Wait, is it 60 minutes?
I don't know. But
no, I don't think it's that long.
I think they're playing quarters, though.
I think they're playing quarters.
There's not many people that could swim for 60 minutes, so non-stop, high intensity.
Average quarter is around 12 minutes. So what, you're looking at 40 minutes?
48. 48 minutes then. But even still, and if you just think of a swimmer in general, those guys are jacked. And girls.
Yeah.
Jacked. They're strong, they're lean, they're fit.
Yeah. So
like
between
Michael
8 and 12 minutes, I think, depending on what sort of
level you're playing.
Echelon you're playing at. Sure, you're looking at around like 40 minutes.
Yeah, okay. So that's a lot of time to be spent.
And every time you're in the water, you're treading the whole time. There's no walking. There's no catching your breath. Well, I guess treading is the moment you get to...
But that's your legs. What do they call it? The egg beating. To get yourself...
Whisking.
Yeah.
Full speed.
Yeah,
wrestling.
Have you ever played
drowning
it?
each other?
I don't think I've ever actually played.
We've done it as part of like your PE, and that was bad enough because obviously we had water polo first teams and all of those. And they are just the most shredded dudes, the stockiest dudes. You just have... It's like... I don't even know what you would compare it to. There's just no let up in that game, I feel like. Very, very tough sport.
I saw
you got
a
the
lot...
physicality, you got the cardio, you got the swimming element, which is also technique, you got the shooting element.
Yep.
There's a lot of different aspects to that.
So I think with the tennis, I could see an argument for tennis. I may have it as like a top 3 just because of the physicality you need to go through to play a 5-set game over 5 hours. Like that puts a massive strain on your body. It's explosive power in little bits. So lots of people, when they talk about an athlete, is your explosive power, the ability to, get up and down real quick.
Water polo.
Yep. Tennis is that over 5 hours. So like
Sometimes.
each point. Yeah.
It's not every game is 5 hours.
No. But I think what takes away from... I mean, there's the mental factor as well. You're the only one there. It's just you against the other person. So you got to be mentally very fit.
Yeah.
And if you're talking about a Grand Slam, you're playing first round, second round, third round, quarterfinal, semi-final, then a final. 7 games over the span of 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, you're up there. I just think there's a massive talent drop-off. Where if you think about who Carlos Alcaraz is your prime example for an athlete when you're talking about a tennis player. I don't think there's someone that comes quite close athletically who's then second in line. Like Yannick Sinner maybe, but if you look at Yannick Sinner, you probably don't think athlete. You look at Carlos Alcaraz, you think, yeah, that boy's an athlete. I think people say, oh, golf is harder. It takes a mental strain on you, and it's over 4 days. Some would say, like, oh, yeah, you're hitting a tennis ball, but have you ever tried hitting a baseball? Like, there's so many things, but that comes,
that's when technique comes into it, because that's when you start going technical ability over anything else. When you're looking at all-rounded athletic builds, purely without diverting too much into, but this sport is harder technique. This one requires more hand-eye coordination. You're looking at the overall aspect of a game that challenges you on various different, and that's why the athlons would be so good, because it's swimming, it's cycling, it's running, or you're doing the sprints, whatever it is, whatever the athlon is. Even the winter athlons that they do, skiing involved in that too, shooting. There's so many different elements.
So, like, I think if you take the word athlete, it obviously comes from athletics. That's where athlete comes from. So if you take that definition of an athlete, it's your sprinting, it's your running, it's your endurance, your strength, agility, power, jumping. I think the complete examination's got to be the decathlon. Like, I feel like it's the only right answer.
But then again, there's no swimming in that, That's another aspect. And swimmers are always shredded.
They are.
And that's why I always go back to water polo. But then you're missing, the sprinting and the jumping of water polo.
Okay.
Stuff.
So
what about NHL?
There was lots of arguments for NHL in this comment section of the Andy Roddick. Because it's the physicality as well that takes a toll on you.
Boxing's also in there.
Because it's like, if we get banged up, you get smashed constantly, bang, you're taking physical contact.
Hand-eye coordination.
That takes a toll on you as well. Your ability to bounce back from that, your ability to stay, what is the word I'm looking for, Phil? Not injury prone. Just stay resilient to being able to continue to play at a high level while you're being battered.
On blades too. Don't forget that.
That's
so
scary.
Serious balance element.
And it's fast-paced. They play heaps of games a year. I mean,
you're sprinting up and down on those skates. I don't think you barely see them walking around.
No.
Having a good time. They are sprinting.
And you got to be able to throw hands.
You got to be able to throw hands. You got to be able to box. You're like semi-pro boxer.
There's a lot in ice hockey, and it did get a lot of love.
You got to have strong teeth.
Yeah. Well, that, and because of the puck flying at you too.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we then think about who do you think is the most complete athlete ever then? Who have you got to?
Well, you're going to hate this. I feel like. But you look at the physical attributes, the cardio, technical ability, strength, stamina, agility. There's an individual who's 40 years old, and he's still scoring in international European games, still jumping higher than anyone else inside the box, which is insane at 40.
Yep.
I think he is the definition of a well-rounded athlete, and to be in that form at that age, I think that is the peak level.
And it is?
And I think it is.
Ronaldo. Yeah, I had a feeling you'd say Ronaldo. Yeah. And I don't disagree with you at all. I mean...
Also the highest paid athlete 3 years in a row. Not that that influences anything, but yep.
Wow. I don't disagree with any of those points.
I look at him and I go, yeah, that's an athlete.
The only one I think rivals that is probably LeBron James. Because he's doing the same stuff at 40, 38, 39.
Yeah.
He's still one of the best players in the NBA. He's still jumping up, able to 360 windmill dunk. He's getting back on the floor, chase down blocks, blocking 20-year-olds, 22-year-olds who are at the peak of their powers, and he's still there. I think longevity is a massive thing, and both Ronaldo and LeBron have it. But I think if we talk about athlete, I think there's stuff LeBron could do that Ronaldo couldn't.
I think there's stuff Ronaldo could do that LeBron couldn't. I mean, how fast is LeBron? I bet he's got great knees. Fantastic. His knees must be bulletproof.
I think he's one of the fastest up and down the court in the NBA at his age at the moment still. What do you think?
I don't watch enough basketball.
What do you think Ronaldo could do that LeBron couldn't? Because I think
Ronaldo's one of the best technical players as well. You got to factor that in. Is LeBron the best technical player like in his league?
Well, he's the best player of all time.
Yeah, but is that based on technique? Is that based on stats?
Just stats. The way he plays his game, I think he's. But aside from the basketball side and football side, I think athletical attributes, say if there's a ball stuck on the roof, you jump to get it. Because Ronaldo isn't as tall as LeBron James, LeBron's 6'8", 6'9", 230 pounds, and he's one of the most he's playing like he would be a 6'2", 200-pound player, and he's doing it at his size. So I think that adds to his case as well. Ronaldo's not a small bloke either. Don't get me wrong. So him being able to do the same as what Messi does at his size is a massive credit to him. I just think LeBron being that much bigger and still being able to do everything as a smaller person would able to do gives him that edge. If we then put
it's hard because they play such different sports.
But if we put them both on a tennis court,
there's no international comparison either.
No.
If you put them on the tennis court, I kind of backing Ronaldo, aren't you? The agility factor.
You reckon I'd back LeBron?
Technical ability on a tennis court.
Yeah.
Really?
I think so, because it's hand-eye. I mean, we got to try it out, but let's just go back to that height. I think LeBron, if a ball gets hit...
No.
But it's physical attributes.
If you're comparing athletes and you're just going, height.
Well, okay,
that's
he's
not
bigger.
A factor. Okay.
And he's able to do the same stuff. Probably a similar speed.
I don't think they're the same.
He's probably as agile because he's able to move around the basketball.
You put them in a 100-meter sprint. There's no way LeBron's winning.
I don't know.
There is no way. And I don't even watch that much basketball. I'm telling you now. Also, the international factor. Where's that in basketball? It's almost non-existent.
FIBA World Cup gold medal at the Olympics.
Do not compare international level of Ronaldo and LeBron. That's crazy.
But I mean, Ronaldo's won a Euros with Portugal. Otherwise, 2 Nation League Cups don't really count because
why not?
They've only started really caring about Nations League this year.
Okay, still scored in the final.
First international goal in a final.
I don't know, man. It's tough.
I asked ChatGPT as well.
Oh, geez.
And that came up with, so it had LeBron and Ronaldo in there as possible candidates. And again, ChatGPT couldn't properly answer the question because there's no definition of. DK Metcalf was mentioned.
Yeah.
Just because of his stature.
How many timeouts does football get?
How many games do they play a year?
How many minutes does LeBron play?
40. Back-to-back nights, 4 times a week. Over 120 games.
How many minutes does DK Metcalf play? These sorts of things. How long? What level? There's not a higher level than NBA, right, either. It's tough.
So LeBron James, Lamar Jackson, as an athlete, his explosive power, quarterback for the Ravens. His ability to throw the ball, hand-eye coordination.
I think that's a very specific skill set, though. And then you might as well go back to the tennis argument at that point.
Yeah.
It's a very specific
So Serena Williams
set.
was in there from ChatGPT.
Yeah.
But Bo Jackson was the one that they landed on. He is MLB All-Star, NFL All-Star, the only person to be an All-Star at both sports.
Yeah, that's an athlete.
Which is explosive power, it's endurance, it's hand-eye coordination, it's athleticism. That's probably peak athleticism. The only thing with Bo Jackson is he was injury-prone. He didn't do it for long. So he didn't have that longevity factor.
Yeah, I mean, you can look at Sonny Bill Williams code switching, being an All Black, RTS as well.
They're very similar skill sets, though, between union and league. MLB and NFL.
Yeah, completely different.
Very different.
Yeah. But then Sonny Bill also goes into boxing.
And the only other one I wanted to mention was on the decathlon is Jim Thorpe. Gold medal, decathlon, and pentathlon.
Yeah, that's
so
insane.
if you say decathlon or a pentathlon, any of those athlons are the complete examination of what an athlete is, then Jim Thorpe is your most complete athlete because he has a gold medal in both of them.
Yeah. Such a good question. And I go back to those athlons, man. Those guys are different gravy.
All right.
But I don't know. I still back Ronaldo in a tennis match against LeBron. That's all I'm saying. Unless LeBron plays tennis as a side hustle. I don't know.
LeBron he has some interest in football, though. He's part owner of Liverpool. So he's definitely kicked a football around the backyard. I'm just saying.
Okay. So have I. Shit.
Yeah, but
I also can kick a baller in my backyard.
I feel like just with his skill set, he'd be able to pick up anything pretty quickly. Same as Ronaldo.
Maybe. Honestly, maybe. I would have no idea. I'd have no idea.
So
maybe they can both play water polo and we can see.
Both? Okay, so you put them on a tennis court, then put them in a pool to play some water polo, and then make them both do a decathlon.
High jump.
But I think you got to think about in their primes as well.
Yeah, this is the thing. These guys are 40 and what?
Exactly.
How old's LeBron?
39.
He's only 39.
Only.
Shit, I would have thought he's like 42-ish.
I'll confirm because I actually don't have the exact answer.
LeBron seems older than Ronaldo to me. Is my.
Oh no, he's 40.
Okay.
He is 40.
Okay.
He'll be 41 on December 30th.
Wow.
So
what a beast.
And then you got to put them in a decathlon. But in their primes, 100-meter sprint, I think LeBron James gives Ronaldo a good go.
In their primes?
Yeah.
That is bonkers.
I think he is. And he's doing it at that size and stature.
Okay, next.
Okay, so we've called the group chat this time because the All Blacks will get announced next Monday.
Oh, boy.
We've got a Super Rugby final coming up where players are going to be vying. It's their last chance to put their best foot forward for an All Black spot. So the group chat this week, Phil, it's called DMs to Razor Robertson.
Okay. Top sprint speed, supposedly, 17 miles per hour. 40-yard dash.
For LeBron?
20.9.
Miles or K's?
Miles per hour, 33.6 kilometers for Ronaldo. Top speed.
As a 40-yard.
In a Euro 2024? Euro 2024?
That's what he got to.
Top speed. At the age of 39, he's still reaching 32.7 kilometers an hour.
Have you tried that on a treadmill?
Yep.
To run that fast?
Nope.
It is quick.
No, thank you.
Would you just keep turning the speed up? You know how it's got the different levels on a treadmill? Yeah. Maybe that's what we should test. I've seen videos of that, like teams testing how fast people, like their sprint speed. And so you're kind of just on a treadmill, start turning it up, and then it's the sprinting for like 10 seconds to see if you can cope with the level.
Look up Shaq races Tyson Gray on YouTube. There's a relay at the end with a bunch of NBA players running track. Oh, we have to watch that.
Tyreek Hill, NFL, 190 pounds, just ran a 10-1-4 100-meter sprint. And wants to race Noah Lyles. And if he drops 10, 15 pounds and trains track, he's probably in with a good shot at giving Noah Lyles a run.
Dude, it's crazy.
So there's guys like that who are just...
And their acceleration is just nuts. Acceleration factor. Massive.
Wow. Okay, let's move on. DMs to Razor Robertson, Phil. So if we could send Razor a message, who we want on the team, that's the basis of this, okay? So one fringe player we think should get a look in, and one veteran who we think doesn't deserve to be in. So who's probably going to be in the squad as a veteran, but who we think probably shouldn't be there. You go first.
This is tough. I mean, there's got to be some factor of legitimacy here. We can't just be like dream player to be in the All Black squad.
Oh, no, yeah. So a young gun who you think deserves a go. Not your dream, like who you think you'd love to see, but just who you think deserves a spot. And then a veteran who you think needs to be on the way out.
Deserves a genuine run.
Yeah.
Some serious minutes.
Yeah.
Either Duplessis Karifi, Ruben Love, or Leroy Carter.
I had Leroy Carter. So I agree with you there.
They deserve some minutes.
And I had Tava Tavanao.
None of this 5-minute stuff. Serious looking.
The only reason I didn't have Ruben Love is because He's just signed a contract with New Zealand Rugby to 2027. He's going to get his chance. They're going to give him goes. So I feel like I know he will.
It's an assumption.
Yeah, it is. But it's based on the fact that they're paying him for another 3 more years.
Yeah.
Because he's a good player. So Duplessis Karifi, I agree with. I had Leroy Carter and Tavatawa Nawai.
Yep.
I mean, Tavatawa Nawai is not really a young up-and-comer. But he deserves a spot. For sure. And your veteran?
I don't know. I mean, are there many veterans hanging around? I feel like there was a big clean out last year.
Yeah.
I can't think of many. Certainly not in my current squad that I'm sort of looking at.
Really?
Maybe a Bowden Barrett, but he still has elements.
You'd cut a Bowden Barrett?
I mean, you've asked for a veteran
I
that would
have?
maybe cut for an up-and-comer. It might have to be Bowden. I can't think of many other veterans in the squad.
Wow.
Why? Who do you have?
Well, I've seen... The reason I ask is because lots of people have been calling for Scott Barrett.
Well, this is the thing. There has to be a... That's just not going to happen because he's captain.
But will he still be captain?
Razor's
I mean,
gonna
it's
name,
Razor.
I think it's Razor. He's going to name Scott Barrett captain, whether we want him in there or not. And I don't know. Is Scott Barrett a veteran? You call him a veteran?
Yeah, he must be. So my one's a bit controversial as well because I don't know if I'd call him a veteran, but when you look at how many games he's played, he is definitely a veteran. Rieko Ioane. He's played 81 tests for New Zealand. That is a veteran player. Anyone who's played over 50 tests.
Only 28 though. Bowden Barrett's 34. He's got to be one of the oldest potentials.
I mean, I could see Rieko coming back. I just don't think he deserves a spot in this squad based on his Super Rugby season.
Okay.
He will be in it because of his pedigree and what he's done previously. And an All Blacks jersey as well. Don't get me wrong, he's been good in a black jersey.
Yeah.
But I think based on there's other guys in similar positions that deserve a spot over him.
Yeah. The veteran story is a hard one. I mean, you even look at Cody Taylor. He's 34, but you still kind of want him in the squad.
I think he's still your best hooker
still one
in New
of your
Zealand.
most consistent hookers, exactly. So, but if you had to make the argument, yeah.
So you'd go Bowden Barrett.
Maybe it's Bowden.
So two
Give
backs.
some younger. That's. I mean, it's not. I don't think it will happen.
No.
I find it hard to get rid of anyone else. And his season's been hit or miss too. He's had fantastic elements, and he'll be great off the bench. Maybe there are other people that it's their time coming into
like
the
a
fold.
Ruben Love.
Like a Ruben.
Okay. All right. So we've got let's bank on Leroy Carter then, since that's a similar one we had, and then
I like
you've
that.
gone for Bowden
Hell yeah.
Barrett, and I'm going for Rieko Ioane. Now let's do our starting 15 for this France game.
Sucks.
Let's go through our props.
Bowden Barrett.
Bowden Barrett starting 10.
X Factor, please. Yeah, it's tough.
All right. Prop forwards, Phil. Who have you got?
Well, probably Williams.
Yep.
Hooker, probably Cody Taylor or Omua if he's fit.
Okay.
Tokyo also on the fringe there.
Yep.
Lomax or Fletcher Newell, number 3.
Okay, cool. I had Williams, Tyrell Lomax, Cody Taylor.
Yeah.
Happy?
Yep.
All right, that was easy. Let's move to the locks. Who you got?
Based off what I think is going to happen as well. Obviously, Scott Barrett's in there.
Yep.
The other lock I want to be Tupavai from the Chiefs.
Bang! We're like nearly 5 for 5.
Really?
Yep, I had the same. Fabian Holland. I don't think Patrick Tuipulotu is.
Fabian Holland's had a mean season.
He
actually.
has, but I think you got to give him
He'd be on
time
the
off the
fringe.
bench.
Yeah.
Okay.
Patrick, he's in and around there.
Yeah.
But I think Tupavai's had a mint season. And defensively astute as well. So
Okay, so that's our tight 5 locked in. Very easily done too. I mean, it's rather predictable, but it's what we're trying to nail this here.
Yep.
Lucy's. This is tough because this creates some conversations, especially on Facebook and the All Black supporters group. Lots of conversations around Lucy's.
this is tough. But I want Wallace Satiti in there.
Yep.
So Satiti, Karifi, and Salvia.
Ooh.
Forwards.
I had Satiti.
Blackadder off the bench, maybe.
Okay, so that's where we swap.
Mm.
I had Blackadder starting.
Mm.
just because he can play kind of all three positions.
The
So I had
likely
him at
scenario,
6,
probably. Yeah.
Artie 7, Satiti 8.
Yeah.
But really wanted to put Duplessis in there.
Yeah. Creefy can come on the bench. Sure.
All right. Now, this should be 2 very similar ones, I'd imagine. Halfback, first 5.
Regard DMAC.
Yeah. I nearly threw Bowden in, but I just think, especially if DMAC wins the Super Rugby final for the Chiefs, he's going to be in. There's
Cortez off the bench for me.
no two ways about it. Yes,
Bowden can be
Cortez
on the
over
bench.
Noah Hotham on the bench. Seen a lot of Noah Hotham being in there. I just don't think he's got the experience enough. I think you'd rather go with Cortez.
Cortez from my biased Chiefs opinion.
And our centres.
Tava.
Mm-hmm.
And either Quintapaya or Proctor.
Okay. Have you factored in the Geordie Barrett effect?
I actually
or no?
haven't. I really haven't factored in the Geordie Barrett. Is he eligible?
He will be.
Well, then you probably have Geordie Barrett at 12, which
Yeah.
means Tavatavanai goes to the bench. Then you're probably looking at, Barrett-Proctor combo. Quintapaya's been stellar.
He has been. He has been very good. And deserves a spot, just not on my team. Unfortunately.
Mm.
I had Geordie Barrett, Billy Proctor.
Okay. Well,
That's assuming Geordie Barrett's available.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Quinn, he'll get a run.
Did you see his try
Geordie's?
of what was it, last weekend?
No.
Very similar to Bowden Barrett's almost try in the
really?
quarterfinal.
Diving on it and sliding.
Except he scored it. It was the double kick.
Oh, yeah.
The kick over the top, and then another kick, like half volley.
Yeah. I
Try.
bet that Barrett Brothers group chat would have been popping off after he scored that. The better brother. I can do it. You can't.
Yeah. So, okay. Valid.
And our back 3.
Where's my back 3? Severis,
Yep.
Narawa, Jordan.
Nice. Narawa, Jordan. And then, I know I said bin him off, but I have Ricky Ioane on the left wing. I don't think there's a spot for him in centres, but I still think he's a world-class winger.
To get rid of Sevu.
Yeah, but, I mean, I'm indifferent about it. Severis is great.
I much prefer Rico on the wing as opposed to a centre. So
But, yeah, if we go
he's
back...
likely to slot him there.
I've low-key just contradicted myself saying that we should pick who we think is going to be the starting 15 against France. I don't think they'll start Rico on the wing. I think they should, but I don't think they will. It's probably a Severis or a Caleb Clark. But hopefully...
So does Rico on the bench then?
Yeah.
Little dual position.
Yeah.
Versatile.
And then I guess, we kind of touched on bench, but I had De Groot, Tossi in there, Tukiaho over Amor, actually.
Ooh.
Fabian Holland, Karifi, Ratama, Tavatavanawai, and Bowden Barrett.
Yeah, well, with Amor's injury as well, especially for the France fixture, you probably have Tokuyahu in there.
Yeah.
I think, Bowden Barrett, Leroy Carter, Ruben Love.
Mm-hmm.
It's a squeeze.
Wow.
But then if you're slotting Geordie Barrett back in, then you got Tavatavanawai or Quintapaya that can come in as well. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, there's plenty of options. It's a good problem to have, and we're going to find out Monday. I think they're naming a 33-man squad?
I think that centre pairing of Barrett and Ioane needs to change though.
Yeah, hopefully it's a Barrett Proctor centre pairing. That's what I'd like to see. A Proctor deserves a spot.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to find out on Monday when Razor announces his first squad and Scott Barrett as captain.
Oh, how good was Narawa in that semi-final though?
My was it
goodness.
First try and the first try of the second half as well?
Almost.
I think that was a power play that came in. Genius.
Crazy, was it?
Yeah.
Mad.
Score first try on both halves. Let's go.
All right, what's next?
Like it or love it for this week, Phil, or loathe it, of course. And the first one I'm going to hit you with is Jarome Luai in for the Blues, Game 2, Mitch Moses out. You like it or you love it, Phil? Or do you loathe it?
I don't mind it. I'm going to cheat. I'll say I don't mind it. I hate that Mitch Moses is out injured.
Same.
I think the Moses-Cleary combo is far superior, but Jarome Luai is a good replacement. I feel bad for Burton.
Yeah.
Little old Matty you can't avoid it. That little 18th man for Matt Burton. What's the point? Might even have him in the squad.
I mean, yeah,
if
what
you're
is
going to
the
call
point?
someone else anyway. I don't mind it. I don't like it because that means Mitch Moses is injured.
Yeah. No.
So,
I could be in a very similar spot because Mitch Moses is a key cog in my fantasy team. I checked this morning, out to around 20.
could be, was it 6 weeks?
On the casualty ward. So that
Also,
stinks.
The Blues have lost 3 of the last 4 games when Cleary and Luai are at the halves.
Have they? But they've never lost in Perth.
They've never lost in Perth, but that's only 2 games.
Yeah. Massive sample size.
It's tough.
I mean...
But at least they got 2 Mitchells out for the Blues now. At least a third Mitchell was still in.
Yes.
So there's still hope.
Yeah, that's true. Come on, Trell, Matt.
$1.44. Yeesh.
What? Is that what he's paying to score?
The Blues are paying $1.44.
Wow, okay. I need to have something ready for if the Blues steamroll Queensland. I might come up with a few teams that could probably replace Queensland. Take the piss out of the Maroons a bit. I think I like it. I think it's really a no-brainer. You're going to bring Cleary and Luai back together. But I didn't know they've lost 3 out of 4 games they've started together in the halves. So,
yeah.
I don't know. But, yeah, feels so bad for Matt Burton. I mean, what is the point?
Yeah. Well, Blues could also tie it up within 2 games. 4 straight wins.
True.
Which is the first time since 1996.
What, 4 straight wins for the Blues?
Yeah. And back-to-back Origin Series success as well. So,
I mean, it's all to play for them. They've got a big point to prove.
Yeah. Hopefully they can improve that stat between them at halves.
Yep.
Also, the first time in a decade that Origin doesn't have any Manly players.
Oh, with DCE getting the drop.
Yo.
Oh, that actually makes me feel quite good.
No brothers in there either, so...
I feel quite good about that.
Yeah, Manly, especially up there.
I mean, that team kind of stinks, doesn't it? I mean, what are we doing with that team? As a Queensland fan, you can't be too happy with that.
No.
Like, what's...
Lost to the Knights, and then you got pumped by the Titans. What are you doing?
So if they lose this game, and they lose Game 3, do you think Game 3 is the last time Billy Slater will be coaching Queensland?
Sheesh. I don't know. Depends on the fashion they lose, I guess.
True.
See if they can bounce back with Tommy Durden and old mate Munster in the halves.
Yep. All right. Next one for you then is the Florian Wirtz deal to Liverpool is basically done. I think he's just having his medical, but it was reported about 150 million euros.
Yeah.
You like it or you love it, Phil? Or, do you loathe it?
Again, another tough one.
Yeah, asking the tough questions today.
I like it because I think Liverpool have been scammed. And for once, they have paid overs for a player.
Yep.
Usually, it's Man United paying overs for a player. Yep. So, that's great to see. 150 million for Wirtz is a scam.
Musiala is the player Liverpool think Florian Wirtz is. Especially against Auckland City.
I also loathe it because I think he's ruined the transfer market for every other club.
Yeah. Totally agree.
And you can see that in the Gyökeres transfer. You can see it with the Brian and Buemo transfer. So shout out to Liverpool and Wirtz for ruining the transfer market for everyone else.
It's the only team it hasn't really ruined is for Man City, which is ridiculous because they got all their business done before this Wirtz deal's over the line. And they are the last team that should be getting players cheap and early.
The last team that should be getting players full stop.
Yeah. No, I'll sit in the same boat as you there. Last one. I think I know the answer for this one. I think we're both going to sit in the same boat for all 3, actually. South Africa. Whew! World Test champions knocking over the Aussies. Aiden Markram, Temba Bavuma, Kagiso Rabada.
World class.
Now, South Africa, Rugby World Cup champs, World Test champs.
Yep.
They run the Southern Hemisphere when it comes to the sporting world. Phil, do you like it or do you love it? I'm not even going to ask you if you love it.
I love it. Especially when you're sitting at $3.50.
Yeah.
You have a rough first innings, but your bowling's been top notch. And then Markram comes out with, 130 odd in the second. Tasty treats.
What a tank.
Rabada, 9 wickets total.
Well deserved too for the whole team and probably the nation. Like 2 years of toil. I mean, lots of heartbreak in South African cricket, partly from the Kiwis too. I heard
winning by 5 wickets,
and it even didn't look likely when Hazelwood and Stark had that 10th wicket partnership, facing well over 100 balls, getting Australia up to 281 a lead of. But thank goodness Aiden Markram decided to stand up and just dig in, not give an inch.
Yeah.
Great test match cricket.
Yeah.
I saw a few
66
comments
from Bavuma as well.
Yeah, I mean, that innings can't go unnoticed either. That is genius. And I think a big turning point in that test was him deciding to stay at and bat because he had his bung hammy. He goes out there, retires hurt, ruins his momentum, potentially ruins South Africa's momentum, but even worse, probably ruins Aiden Markram's momentum as well. Because there's nothing worse than when you're in a partnership and you're flying along, it's easy.
Yeah.
And you lose a wicket, but Tim Bavuma having to retire hurt, new guy comes in.
Yep.
It just ruins the whole flow. So massive from Bavuma.
Bittingham as well was pretty solid
he was
on
good.
the bat.
Some
Both
really
innings.
nice on drives from lots of the South African players, actually, hitting it back past the bowler.
Love it. Oh.
2 comments I've seen. The first one was on day 3. Test match cricket deserves better. I disagree. I think it got through to day 4. I think it ended up being a great test match. Anyone that said test match cricket deserves better can eat their words and piss off.
The double wickets in an over.
It was great.
The bowling was fantastic. You had some great batting on display.
And the Aussies will cry about how the pitch turned into a road. Win the toss.
Yeah.
Bowl first then, like South Africa did. Match was dominated by ball for 3 days, dominated by bat for day 4, would have been dominated by bat for day 5. You can't ask for much more.
No.
Home of cricket, at Lords.
At Lords, yeah.
Final.
Peak.
I mean, piss off to anyone that says test cricket deserves better.
Yeah, cry about it.
And then the second comment was when Sir Khaleesi lifts the Rugby World Cup trophy for the second time, does a lot for the nation, and he gets on this pedestal. Does Temba Bavuma see on that same step right now, doing what he's done for South African cricket and the nation? What do you think?
In terms of an individual performance, yeah. In terms of the scale of the performance, probably not put on that same pedestal.
Fair.
Especially with Khaleesi doing it twice.
Yeah.
Bang, bang.
I think what the angle, I can't remember his name, the South African reporter was coming from was what both captains and their team has done for the nation.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, South Africa is a nation brought together by sport, really. And at the moment, what they're doing in their respective codes.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
So I think it's a fair comment, but I wanted to get your take on it.
Yep.
Okay, so we're 3 for 3 on that. I feel like our test team as well, very similar. The only one that differs was our athlete answers.
Yeah, which was always going to happen.
But other than that, very in line.
That's an almost impossible discourse to have when you're talking about athletes. It's never going to.
Yeah,
very rare.
Okay, let's quickly run through our betting recap of last week from our Odds On show on Thursday. Phil, how did your 40-20 go?
Oh, geez, I didn't even check. Alukawatu actually, he scored, but he didn't score. Almost chicken-winged, which means he lost the ball, but then regathered it while still in the air.
Yep.
But then in rugby league, that's considered a knock-on because he lost control in the first place. And like rugby union, when you can recontrol it before the ball hits the floor, that didn't happen.
But so you can't do that, but you can score with your forearm in the Roosters Knights game, can't you?
Indeed. So he scored, but he didn't, and then he went off injured after that. So that sucked.
Yeah.
The Roosters game, I didn't even watch, to be honest.
Was it 12-8?
12-8. Absolutely embarrassing. Who scored in this little game we have here?
It was the Roosters game where, was it not Dom Young?
So McCarthy scored in 3 minutes. Fiketi and Suel Wong. So no Nawaka and Itawasi either.
No. But that scoring with your forearm is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay. My 50-22 was no good. Blues couldn't cover 5.5. I mean, they really looked like covering 5.5, up 14-0.
It was a great start. Was the exact kind of start you want.
Absolutely.
And then Well,
And then,
Crusaders,
yeah. And I mean,
different gravy.
potentially they may have turned down a few points, kicking for 3. So,
Yeah.
Didn't quite cover the 5.5.
Unlike the Chiefs. Every time the Chiefs could have 3 points, they took it.
Yeah, weird, because that carried on from the Blues game. They did that in the Blues game too. Thanks for bringing that up. Second league, Chiefs 1-12. No good either, because the Brumbies
13.
couldn't quite keep it rolling.
I tell you what, they were bloody close and probably should have been within the 1-12.
Yeah, I know.
Losing their number 10 within the first 20 was.
I feel like they were 2 pretty bad beats. Like Blues 5.5 could have really happened any other day. Chiefs 1-12 could have really happened any other day. Unfortunately.
Well, I mean, that game almost went to extra time, but Crusaders defense on the money.
Yeah. Your lock and laugh.
The lock hit, which was South Africa to win the Test Championship at
Unbelievable.
$3.50. My second lock, because I admitted that lock was already in play,
Yeah.
But it was a lock. Highest scoring game, Cowboys-Dolphins, which cleared
Well said.
by the Dolphins alone, pretty much. 56.
Yeah. I mean,
56 points against the Cowboys.
great tipping by you. That's good stuff. 2 locks over.
Yeah, that was good. And then the laugh, Crusaders to win 13 plus.
Not actually as far away
Not
as...
far. Not far away.
I had Ryan Fox to make the cut, which was the Betcher boost. He made the cut and he actually came tied 17th, so top 20 for Foxy. Decent payday there. My laugh, Shane Lowry to win the US Open. Now, this turned out to be more of a laugh than expected because he didn't even make the cut. I'm pretty sure he shot like 15 over 2 days. That US Open at Oakmont was absolute carnage, especially in the last 2 days with all the torrential rain. Makes for great viewing, though. Ladder challenge.
That putt was, wow.
Oh, JJ Spawn, that putt. He didn't even need to make it to win. He just had to lag putt it, and he drilled it. Right on to JJ Spawn. Secures his spot in all majors for the next 5 years. So, crazy. Ladder challenge. Both teams to score in the PSG versus Atletico game. Now, Phil, talk me through it. There was $200 into $330.
Well, they had 5 shots. They had 1 on target. It should have been 2 on target. How you're scoring from a meter out is a skill set I will never achieve. I don't understand it, really.
It was his left foot. Maybe he's right-footed.
It happens. Was it left-footed?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. But when you're that close, I feel like my 4-year-old niece is kicking that in.
He blew it over the bar, too.
He blew it over the bar.
Legends may have seen that go wide, but...
That takes effort. I can understand maybe the bounce of the ball, but you look at that screenshot.
Yeah.
You look at it in slow-mo, you look at it in real time, you go,
Yeah.
An open goal, by all means.
Oh.
Not even on target. It's not even like you kicked it at the goalkeeper who's diving across the line. It's just...
Yeah.
It's skied over the bar. It's great drop goal. Great drop goal.
Yeah, for 2.
Yeah.
We'll take the points, thanks. So, no good there. PSG winning 4-0.
Yeah.
Both teams could not get on the board.
They score there.
At
2-0 down, red card.
2-1.
2-1.
Yep. Game on.
Put some energy into your side.
Game on.
I can't believe you missed that, but whatever.
So, we got to start again from the bottom floor.
Yeah.
Come this Thursday, but it was a good run.
It was a great run.
Multiverse, Fox to make the cut. Dolphins, Cowboys over 49.5, where they both hit. Chiefs 1-12 did not. Bulldogs -7.5. Really looked like hitting before that weather delay.
It was looking.
I thought it was in the bag.
It was looking well nice before the lining came in, and then when they came back, I don't know what happened. Different side, especially in that second half. Rabbitohs pulling it back.
So yeah,
disappointing.
Tough weekend
from
betting.
the Dogs,
but
not too tough.
Yeah, it was okay. Yeah, well, you had 2 locks. Get up at $3.
Yeah.
My Eagle Farm Phillip, which you did as a place multi, got in for you. Unfortunately, it went second, third, so no winners. They're all placed, so we're not far off. Yeah, we'll keep working on that. We'll keep working on it. All right, we'll finish up there, but before we do, obviously, State of Origin Game 2.
Sure.
The hosted pot is back and up and running. Jay and Dunk, $10 buy-in once again. Now, if you missed the first one, the big talking point from the pot was Xavier Coates, 4th try scorer, live bet, bang, cashed it for $8.50. The pot returned close on $8,000.
I wonder if they go heavy on Latrell again.
Yeah.
Do they stick to their guns?
Well, they had, 3 bets with Latrell last time. And I wonder if they'll put any results in there. I wonder if they'll be back in Queensland, both Maroons.
$2.80 might be worth a stab.
It could be, but the pot is live. There's currently just under $2,000 in it again. I'm sure we'll see that build up. You do want to have a punt on it, but just enjoy the fun with the fellas. $10 buy-in. Follow along in the chat while you're watching the game tomorrow night. It is good fun. I've bought in. Have you bought in, Phil?
Not yet, actually. There's also some betcha boosts that are looking quite tasty as well. Nathan Cleary or Jarome Luai to score a try, 325. Cam Munster or Tommy Dearden to score a try, 370. I love Cameron Munster to score a try in a State of Origin game.
So you're going to be on the Queensland one?
I had him for game 1. I'll back him in again here.
Ooh. What's he paying to score individually?
Don't know. Don't ask. But Tommy D I like as well. He's a good player. He's elusive.
Yep.
Did
you have a best bet for the game? I don't really have one, to be honest.
Sheesh.
I don't think you can just back New South Wales to win. There's not a lot of value on it.
It'd have to be SGM, to be honest.
Yeah.
I do like those betcha boosts. I'm probably jumping on both. 325, 375. It's going to be the battle of the halves for sure.
The thing is, with the betcha boosts on the first game, only one of them could come in because it had match results in there. This time, you can get on both and have both winners. So maybe that's the shout. Just get on both betcha boosts. Thanks for coming.
Just can't wait for some serious grubbery from Jarome Luai. Get up in the grills of the Queenslanders.
Oh, yes. All right, well, that's where we'll park it for this week, Phil.
Yep.
We'll be back on Thursday, no doubt, to review Origin Game 2 and have a look to the punts for the weekend. So, thank you for listening. Do tune in again on Thursday. Enjoy Origin if you're watching, and we'll see you then.